Okay, so we are going to be working with powers, exponents, and square roots today. And so if you notice, there are 5 little vocab words at the top, and we're going to discuss what these vocab words are. So you have square and squared, and that is to the second power. Okay, it's something raised to the second power. An example of this would be x squared. Okay. Next is cubed, and it's to the third power. An example of this would be x to the third power. Okay, and when you're seeing these powers, we're going to discuss what a power is. But whenever it's raised to something, it means it's being multiplied that many times. And so x squared is actually x times x. And x cubed is actually x times x times x. Okay, so it's not 3x. It's x times x times x. So if it was 2, it'd be 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2, which is 8. It wouldn't be 2 times 3. It's the number times itself. Okay, next is a perfect square. And a perfect square is a product of a number times itself, which is really similar to square root, because the square root is a number when multiplied by itself gives you the number under under the square root sign. And so a square root is a number multiplied by itself gives you the number under the square root sign. And so a square root, if, for example, if you did the square root of 2, you would get a number, but it's going to be a rational number, which means it's a fraction or decimal. A perfect square might be the square root of 25. Because the square root of 25 is a number times itself, which is 5. Because 5 times 5 is 25. Or a square root could be any number under there. And a perfect square is just a number times itself. And then you have the square root of 36, and that's actually a radical number. And so it's just saying anytime you see something under a square root, it's considered radical. But then if you were to solve it, the square root of 36 is going to be 6 times 6. So it's 6. Which means if you notice, this is also a perfect square. Which is kind of fun. Sorry you can't see it. There you go. Okay, now we are going to be looking at this down here, and we are going to be dealing with some different calculator keys. Okay, so I'm going to have my calculator over here as well, and so you can see kind of how it works. Let me make sure it's where you guys can see it a little bit. Okay, there you go. Now, these calculator keys, you have powers and exponents, and for this one you're going to use it's called a caret key. I don't know why, but it's called a caret key. Okay, this caret key, I'll color it in, is right here on your calculator. So if you look at your calculator, right here above x squared, you'll see a caret sign. Okay, so if I were to type in a number, let's just pick any number. Let's say it's 5 to the 7th power. Okay, let's do an example here. 5 to the 7th power. Okay, 5 to the 7th power. I would type in 5, and then I would hit this little caret key. And if you notice, it instantly goes up to where a square or a power would be. And I'd type in 7, and then I'd hit enter. And it's 78,125. 78,125. Oh, you can't even see it. Okay, but it's pretty cool that that key can do that. Right here. Okay, now, if you want to do a square root, okay, a square root, you are going to hit the second button, and then you're going to hit the x squared key. And so if you remember, the second button is green on our calculator. Okay? And so you're going to hit this second button right here. And then x squared is right below the caret. That's why on the notes I had it right below. And it might even help if you write below the caret. That's up to you, but it might help. Okay, it's below the caret sign. So if you look right here, you're going to hit the second button, and then you're going to hit right below the caret sign is x squared. And if you notice, a square root sign pops right up. Okay? And the square root sign, you could type a number in. We just did 25 up there. 25 and hit enter, and it gives you 5. Okay? So now what these numbers mean. When you're looking at 4 cubed, okay? This 3, let's use red. The 3 is an exponent. And it tells you how many times to repeat the base. And the 4 is the base. And that tells you the number to be repeated. So you have a base and exponent. If you look up in my classroom on my vocabulary wall, for B I actually have base, and I have this circled. Because that's the base of the number, and the exponent's how many times you're going to multiply the base by itself. For example, in this case it'd be 4 cubed. So you'd have 4 times 4 times 4. Some people can do 4 times 4 in their head quick, that's 16. But 16 times 4 might be hard. And so that would be a great time to go 4, hit your caret key to the 3rd power, and hit enter. And you get 64. Okay, and then you have a square root. Okay, and this is a radical sign we talked about. Okay, a radical sign, and then your square root is what number times itself. That's important. It's times itself will give me the number under here. And so let's pick a number. We already did 36 up here. Let's pick 81. The square root of 81. Okay, you can probably do that in your head, but if you can't, you would hit the second, it's right here, second x squared button, second x squared button, and you would type in 81. And you know, oh, it's 9. And it's 9. Now let's look at our together problems. Okay, if we're looking at our together problems, use the given number 1, square root of 144. Okay, a number times itself, that gives you 144. You can do it in your calculator. It's easier to do this one in your head, but square root of 144 equals 12. 8 to the 4th power. 8, hit your caret button, to the 4th power gives you, oh, you can't see it very well. There you go, 4,096. Next, you have the square root, second x squared button, of 1521. Hit enter and you get 39. Then you have 9, hit the caret button, raised to the 5th. Ooh, that's a big one. 59,049. Last, number 5, you're actually going to have some of these on your assignment. Use the given base to write the number in exponential form. Okay, so our base is 5. Okay. Our base is 5. It's the first number. The second number is what you want to have at the end. So 5 to what power would give you 25? Okay. 5 times 5 is 25. So that would just be the second power. If this was, for example, 125, then it would be 5 to the 3rd power, because that's 5 times 5 times 5. Okay, so this one's more trial and error. So when you come over here, your base is going to be 3. And then you're trying to decide what's the power that will give you an answer of 27. Okay, and then these ones are all very similar to what we did over here. So hopefully this doesn't take you too long. And then we are done with this section.